Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday around 9 a.m., I think it is. Um, I'm still trying to wake up. And I was planning to work on the vlog yesterday. I wanted to do another one of those like weekend writing vlog things. And then I just did not have the energy mentally or physically for it, so I'm gonna do it today, and it's probably gonna be a little bit of a shorter vlog, and I think probably more of a combination vlog between like, um, my writing process and what I typically do on the weekend. Um, I'm a little bit tired. It was one of those days, where you just wake up tired. So I have coffee, but I'm gonna fill it up because I feel like I am gonna need extra caffeine today. And I'm also gonna try to, get dressed and look a little bit more camera ready. And then after that, we're gonna head over to my desk and I'm gonna sit down and see if I can try to figure out what we're doing today. So I'll be back in a few minutes and we will continue. All right, we are back. I'm in the kitchen. I came in here to refill my coffee and my coffee cup is still way over there in my bedroom, so we're not off to a good start. But I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna bring it back in here, top it up. And then I was thinking, as I was getting ready, one thing that I do want to talk about today, and I think this will probably be more of the process side of things, is this whole myth around inspiration. And the reason that I want to talk to you guys about inspiration and why it's a myth. And this is more for people, I think, who are maybe working on their first book or trying to get their first book published and they're getting stuck and feeling like, this is not going as well as I'd hoped. The whole idea of, not feeling inspired to work on your book and not feeling motivated to do the marketing or anything like that. So much of writing is just showing up. It's getting out of bed, it's having a plan, it's sitting down and saying, today I'm going to work on this. Even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm not 100% sure where the story is going or what I want to say, you still need to show up. And I'll be honest, I didn't really want to write yesterday, and I'm not really feeling it today, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to really try and sit down and work on something because so much of writing is just pushing through. It's a slog. I think a lot of people have a very sort of romantic notion about what it means to be a writer, like the writer's life. We're gonna sit up in some mountain cabin somewhere with our little, espresso machine and, these gorgeous mountain vistas and, the birds twittering. It's just gonna be so great, but it's not like that. So much of it is kind of, I don't want to use the word boring. But if I'm being completely honest, a lot of what I have to do outside of actually writing the story is kind of a drag. And in fact, I'm going to go into that a little bit more in detail when I talk about getting our Infinite Depths ready, especially for the ebook file, which I completely forgot about until this morning when I was like, oh yeah, like I'm not even close to being ready for publication. So when I get back into my office with my refilled cup of coffee, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about that because, guys, we need to have this conversation. A lot of people say, oh, you're so prolific, you must be so inspired. And the reality is, I'm not inspired. I'm just simply used to the routine of sitting down and working. So let's go into my office and talk about that in depth. All right, I've got a coffee, I've got my laptop, and for even more distraction, there she is. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here. In my previous vlog, I think I mentioned how I was having a little bit of difficulty working on the fourth book in my series because I had never actually planned on writing a fourth book. It was always going to be a trilogy. And then certain events transpired at the end of book 3 that basically behooved me to write a fourth book. And because it was such a last minute decision to even go forward with a fourth and final book, I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to actually kind of percolate on some of these ideas and say, okay, like this is what we're gonna do. This is the pacing for the story. So it's been very much sort of seat of my pants type of book, and that's normally not a problem because I have always been a pantser. I I like to just sort of let the characters make their own decisions and then document what happens, which, isn't always the best approach, especially if you have a lot of characters like I do in the series. When I first started writing the fourth book, and I didn't really have an outline, I had sort of a vague idea of where I wanted the story to go, and of course, I knew certain things had to happen. So I knew that the book had to end a certain way, but going into that, leading up to the main event of the story, I didn't really have any sort of uh, clear and defined path that I wanted to take. And unfortunately, when I first started writing the book, when I was like, 5, 10, 15,000 words into it, I started thinking to myself, I don't want to write this book. I don't want to tell the story. I just do not want to write this book. You might be thinking, well, Jess, like, what the heck? Like, why would you even put yourself through all of that if you don't want to do it? And a big part of it is that I feel like I owe it to people who've already read the first 3 books to actually wrap up Hannah and Ray's story. So I'm kind of doing it for them, but I'm really doing it for myself because I feel like, as I said in the kitchen, it's so easy to say, I'm not inspired, I'm just not going to write today. But if I gave into that feeling of not wanting to write, I would not have the fourth book. It would not be almost 50,000 words. And just the fact that I'm at 50,000 words now is such a surprise. I was not inspired. Like I was initially when I kind of had that burst of inspiration, like, oh, you know what? We're gonna do a fourth book. It's gonna be so much fun. Write a fourth book, they said. I had some ideas, they looked really good in my head, and I had a playlist picked out, so I just thought this was gonna be smooth sailing. And then I actually started working on it, and I wasn't able to bring that vision in my mind to life, and I got frustrated, and I said, okay, well, I'll just start over. And the same thing happened the second time, where I wasn't really sure where the story needed to pick up from where the third book left off. And I got a few thousand words into that, and the voices in my head started saying, this is crap. You don't really want to do this, right? Like, you can quit now. And then I almost did, and I said, I'm not inspired, I just don't feel motivated. But I kept going. I said, okay, well, the first 2 attempts were duds, but maybe I can go back and actually try to outline a little bit and figure out where the story needs to start. And again, I kept saying, that sounds like a lot of work. Like, why would I do that? This is where the work comes in. This is where I don't feel like writing has to stop. I know a lot of people might be watching this video saying like, oh, you can't say that, Jess. You just gotta kind of accept that everybody has a different creative process. And you know what? That is so true. And what works for me may not work for anyone else. And in fact, it probably shouldn't work for anyone else because it's my process and it's my story. And you will have your own process. You will have your own story. And you have to write it in the way you feel is best. And if that means sitting down once a month, great. If that means sitting down every day, great. Like, do what works for you. But the reason I'm having this conversation with you guys is because if you want to be a writer, you have to write. There's really no two ways about it. The real writer's life is this. It is getting your coffee in the morning. It's sitting down at your desk. It's, trying to get the cat to not jump on your lap every 10 seconds. And it's saying, okay, I don't want to do this. Or maybe I do. I mean, that's great. When you actually want to sit down and write, like, is there a better feeling? I don't think so. But it's being here. And it's having a plan. And it's not giving up when you know that you have something you want to say. And now, the fourth book is almost 50,000 words. And as I said, that is a huge milestone. That is more than halfway to the finish line. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little concerned because there are now at least 3 potential paths that Hannah and Ray can take in their life. And I kind of know what happens afterwards. Like, there's one particular thing that has to happen to tie everything together. And of course, the ending is already predetermined, so I'm not going to mess with that. But they have reached a proverbial fork in the road, like the whole, see, now I can bring this back in, like, which untraveled road will they traverse? I'm not sure, and I'm getting a little concerned that I'm going to have to write all three or more uh, scenarios and just kind of see which one fits the story. But there's that. There is writing scenes and chapters that don't make it into the final version of the book. But in writing those scenes, you will learn so much about the characters and about how they respond to certain situations. So now that I've said all that and given you an earful about my creative process, we're gonna do some actual work on the computer. And I think, as I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can start the ebook file. I don't want to. That's the thing. Hang on, bear with me. Okay, not that I don't want to, because I absolutely do, but I don't want to start it now because the revisions on paperback are not done yet, and I don't typically format anything for ebooks or epubs unless I have a complete and clean draft copy ready to go. And the reason for that is because trying to fix mistakes in an ebook is a little more challenging than you might think. So I will stop talking. I will start actually working, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, take a look at this over here. So, if I zoom in just a little bit, well, not zoom in, move my phone closer, you'll see that I have a few different documents here on my desktop. So there's Movie Mountains Book 4 Draft 1, that's the master document, where I've been compiling all my finished chapters. There's the outline here, and I've been doing this new thing now where I have been outlining as I go. Just it makes it easier for me if I need to go back and kind of work out any kinks in the plot. I can say, oh, okay, so that's where the problem started. So that's been a bit of an experiment, but it's been interesting. Here's our Infinite Depths Rev 2, which actually now this is going to be Rev 3, but I won't touch that right yet. And 19 superseded. So you may be wondering, what does that mean? Well, let's see. That means that I am on chapter 19 of Moving Mountains Book 4, and there's a very good chance that that file will be deleted. There's a whole lot of deletion that goes on in a book. It's not just like sitting down, writing something, and then saying, this is great, let's publish it. So many chapters that I write and so many scenes that I think about, so much of it is just for my benefit as the author. Like, as I said, it reveals something about the character. It might just be a little snippet of dialogue. It might be some description about the sky or the birds or whatever it is. But what it does is it helps me to flesh out the world a little bit more, so it's not so two-dimensional when I start writing it. I'm going to open up one of my folders here, and I'm going to show you all the different chapters and scenes that I've written. Some of them, most of them actually, are in the draft and master document for Movie Mountains Book 4, but a lot of them are not. So I'm going to just switch over back to my front-facing camera, and yeah, you can see a little bit more the chaos behind the scenes. So this is what it looks like. And by this I mean this here is the folder in which I have saved all of the scenes and all of the chapters and all of the little random bits and bobs of description and whatnot that eventually will play some sort of role in the fourth book. Some of them are about characters who no longer exist, who got killed off in the first or second attempt. Other scenes are, part of chapters or let's just say paths that my characters could have taken but didn't, or they did, and then I realized that that wasn't the right direction for them at the time. Oh, so there you have it. A little bit of a glimpse into my process, or another part of my process. It's 12:37 now, so I'm gonna take a break. When I get back, I am gonna do a little bit more work. That power outage kind of threw me off my game, but that's okay. I'm gonna get back into it as soon as we're done eating, and then we'll wrap up this vlog and try to make a plan for this week in terms of what to work on, what to finish, what to start. you guys know how it is. I've always got something on the go. This chapter that I'm working on right now, chapter 19, which is the one that I had to start over, is 409 words now, which is really good, I think. I've been writing for, I think, just under an hour. I stopped and started again just because I wasn't really sure how to jump into the scene. But this scene is one that I've been thinking of for a while, and it wasn't really fully fleshed out when I originally thought of it. It was just kind of, it really just started with some dialogue, and I thought, okay, that's good. I'll have to file it away for future writing sessions. So we're finally here, and we're finally writing that slightly vague but pivotal scene. So I'm gonna go get some coffee, and then we'll come back and we'll keep working on this, and then after that I'll see if maybe I can kind of update my outline a little bit and try to clarify a few things before we move forward.
This isn't about good and evil, Ryan.
Just how can you be so certain?
I let my conscience slow me down now. Everything gets a lot worse for everyone.
Alright guys, it is now almost 5 o'clock, and I'm almost done chapter 19. It's now about 1,300 words, I think. Maybe just a little bit over. Anyway, I don't think it's quite done yet, but I'm really happy with the progress I've made, so I am going to wrap it up for today and probably go and take a walk because I feel like I've been inside working on my computer the entire day, and I couldn't go out earlier because of the rain, obviously, but now that that's over and I've actually put a dent in my word count goals, I think maybe now would be a good opportunity to actually touch some grass and, well, maybe not bask in any sunshine, but at least breathe in some non-apartment air. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can see the lighting's not great in here, so I apologize for that. If you like this video, please, sub, share, do all that stuff you're supposed to do, and I will try to come up with more videos, more ideas, that kind of thing. Or if you have an idea for a kind of video you would like to see, leave a comment below or contact me on any one of my socials. Anyway, guys, I will check in with you sometime again in the future. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're staying safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.